ULTI.TV.
Okay, here we go. Here we are in Sakai, as we've been all week. It's Friday the 13th. The North American battle's all over today, but we're here at Australia, Japan. The timer's just started. Japanese put up the first pull. The Barramundis from Australia, John Damiani, back to receive the pull. He moves it to Hoy. Hoy, good to see him playing. He's had some injuries that he's been nursing, but looks like he's fighting through in the big games here. Stevenson now with the disc. A little pushy to Hoy. Far side of the field, he has Waz Shepard. The Japanese come out in a zone early. Test the Australian throwing. The conditions gusty compared to yesterday's howling winds. Nothing at all, but there is a gust in the air. Hoy puts a little hammer. Lucy Stevenson collects it. Gets it to Callahan. Callahan Spielman fakes a little backhand. Now he gets it back to Hoy. Hoy to Waz Shepard. Waz Shepard back to Hoy. The Australians very patient early in this zone. Waz Shepard, they've got Damiani deep as he has an assassination on him. And very rare to see John Damiani that far downfield. The Japanese finally adjust back to a man. And Damiani, we see him more. And then Waz Shepard puts a big one up. He's got a man. Callahan Stevenson comes down with the first goal. Australia used their first possession for a goal. They go up 1-0 early going in this semifinal. The Monday D line on now. Tom Tullett, better known as Cupcake, set to pull. Japanese have their O-line on for the first time today. And Cupcake wrenches his body as he always does to put up a massive pull. Japan collects 5-27. Now 11 with the disc for Japan. Gets it to 28 on this near sideline. She engages her dump. And everything well defended, this man defense by the Mundies. Finally finds a receiver, 88, who gets the disc. 3 moves it on, 11 with the disc. Moved forward to 15 now. Gets a flick in front. And a foot block, or nearly there, by Gav Moore. Switches hands now. Tom Tullett to TLB for Australia, working out of their own end zone. Waiting for something to develop. Now engages Cupcake, who does a double cut. Puts up a big backhand. Has a receiver. 42 goes up, but a little piece there. Doesn't come down with the disc. Got his hand up. No call. That was Twiggy on the run. And the Japanese handler picks up number 15. They'll go back the other way. Oh, it's actually a contested foul going back to Cupcake on the throw. Yep. Now we're in play. Cupcake to Gav Moore. Gav flicks up, same sideline to Spielman. Spielman back to Cupcake centered. Looks for a big backhand, but then goes up line to Lacey Moore. To Gav Moore. Fakes the hammer. Now engages his dump. Cupcake went up line and then came back center. TLB with the disc. No one on him. Still. Now the Japanese defense arrives. Cupcake slips on a cup, but ends up getting very open as he puts it out in front. Gav Moore runs under. Australians get a break early. It's 2-0. Semi-final action here in Sakai. Gav Moore puts a pull up. 2-0 to the Australians in the early going. That's Shimura who puts it into play. Now 1, moves it to 28. Has a look. Flick comes up line. Number 1 with another touch. That's Kikuchi, puts up a huge hammer. Gav Moore, bigger and in better position there. Gets the D. Plays going back to the throw from the start of the possession here, way back. So a lot of discussion there. Gav Moore came right upfield to make sure he had some input. The disc going back to Yokota, 28 for Japan. The incident seemed to have happened where Tafa and number 11 for Japan, Shimura, had some contact, but it's not going back to them. So a bit perplexed to the way they've worked this one out. But we're underway regardless. With 28, Yokota moves it up to Kikuchi. He throws the same hammer to the same similar spot, but this time he's got his receiver. It gets over Gavmore. Japan gets on the board. It's 1 Japan versus 2 Australia. 3 points in. We've got crowds building up all over the place here. There's huge games on about 4 different fields right now. You see some support behind the fence, Japanese support. This is the only Japanese or Australian game on right now, so all the of their country supporters will be here. Canada, US playing in all 3 other divisions, or 3 other divisions in the mixed women's and masters and semifinal action, so there'll only be 1 North American in those 3 division finals as Japan gets a turn in the Australian end. Number 4 now to 22. Backhand break, 81 for the goal. That's Kimura scores for Japan, who level it up with a break, and they get their 2 in a row. 2-all. The Japanese strike back after Australia take the early lead and get 2 of their own. We're all locked up at 2s here. Teo Brown cruising the Australian sideline, getting ready for his big Masters final tonight under the lights against the Canadians, the only team that really touched him up in pool play, but the Masters looked really good. The Australian squad winning their semifinal against Japan. John Damiani with the disc. He is a chiseled veteran, Damiani is. 20 some odd years of Ultimate under his belt, playing at the top level. He moves it to Hoy. Hoy puts it up. Spielman with a bid on his back. Spielman centers. Gav Moore now. Gets it up to Hoy. Hoy on to Lisi Moore as she hits the deck but keeps her hands. Damiani winds up the backhand. Now looks flick. Gets Hoy. Hoy back to Damiani. Puts the backhand up, gets it underneath. Spielman's there in the corner. Australia get the goal. It's 3-2. They still dictate pace after the break back. Wow, we've just taken that one off the scoreboard. That doesn't count. There's a foul on the play. It's going to go back to Damiani. Not sure where the foul was as yet. Maybe a travel call, travel on the throw. So on the throw, they're trying, John Damiani trying to work out with number 1. That's Kikuchi, who threw that hammer not long ago, trying to work out where to start. And disc is now tapped in. Damiani gets it to Gav Moore, fakes the flick up line. Now engages Damiani, gives it to him. JD fakes the backhand, wanted the OI. OI gives the IO, it's floating. Gav Moore, definitely the bigger body. He gets up for a big score. Australia on the board again. They get the point back. It's 3-2, Aussies. Cupcake, hand up, ready to pull. Japanese got their O-line back on. And here comes the windup and the delivery. Inside out backhand. A lot of wind under that. Sailing into the far corner, and it lands in. Oh, it lands just out, rather, going to the brick spot. Shimura brings the disc to the line. He's a lot of touches for him in this game. Gets a backhand out on a straight-up mark by the looks of things. Disc goes up. It's a big one. It's got room. 25 gets up and over, grabs the goal for Japan. That's Kawase who evens things up. It's 3-all. Semifinal. Japanese strike back. Great game here. Set of breaks to open things up. Then they've traded. It's 3-all. Japan puts the pull up. That's Kikuchi. He's done a few of their sweet throws, a couple of nice hammers side to side into the end zone. One that didn't count, one that did. Now JD with the disc. Up the line. Australia possession. Hoy cuts for him, but he goes deep. He's got Spielman. Spielman's got the size and position. Wow, he read that well. Gets up and over. Kalen Spielman comes down with a JD put to count 4-3. Australia continues to dictate. Australia back up one. Tullett puts a pull up. Inside out backhand. Fading into that corner where it just went out last time. This one's a beauty. Sticks Japan in the back corner and Australia on defense. By the time they get to the front line. 11 gets it to 3 in the end zone. Japanese drop right on the doorstep there. Now Cupcake with the chance to go up that break again. Lacey Moore now with the disc. She looks for that flick hard. A little bit of contact. Stoppage on the play. Back to Cupcake. He gives a flick, break. Gav chasing to get there. Gets down. Gets the disc. Australia go up 5-3. Great play by Gav Moore as Cupcake throws to space. 5-3 Australia. All right, the Mundies get another break in the first half. We're joined after they take a timeout. The Aussies did take a timeout after they got the break. We're joined by Mark Evans again. We've had him for the Mundies before when they slaughtered Finland. This one a much closer match, obviously. Mark, what do you think of things so far?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I just don't think that the Japs have an answer for the tall receivers on the mixed team. Just the the Gavin Moores and the Kendall Thorns.
That's it. That's the way the Swedes beat them in the open game. That's how the Swedes beat the Japanese. That is. Big hammer goes up, shot to the end zone. Has his man,
incredible.
precision shot there. Japanese bring it back to within one, 4-5. Japanese back on the board.
All right, let's see if they can contain JD's backhand upwind this time.
It's been vicious, and like you said, they got Waz and Spielman out there with JD throwing to them. It's pretty vicious. If they do ever get stuck with the short stuff, it's an excellent option. It's worked early.
It's looking like a poachy zone at the moment.
Komori on the mark, number 9.
The Japanese are famous for their zone, but pretty man. Like each player in the zone will kind of mark a man if they come into their space and be much more proactive than if it was like a pommy.
Right. Similar, used in 2-3-2s, I suppose, in Australia. That the principles are played that way. Now Hoy puts a hammer over top to
lovely.
Stevenson. Lovely throw in a pressure scenario in his end zone. Waz had a look at that deep and
He needs to just contain himself.
Shepard.
Yeah,
Backhand over to Spielman.
Take it easy. Yeah, nice one to JD.
Then to Hoy. Hoy with the disc.
Hoy working on an injury. I think he had a hammy strain.
Yeah, we had mentioned it. He was getting worked on earlier with the coaches, kind of testing his range. And obviously he got the green light because we see him in there, and he doesn't seem to be hampered by it at this stage. JD with the disc now. Damiani to Hoy. Hoy to Damiani, a lot of that happening, and again back to Hoy, back to Damiani.
I think it's Diamani.
Diamani. I don't think you're right.
Okay.
It's certainly Damiani.
All right.
Of Damiani cabinets. JD now with the disc.
Oh,
puts
out
a backhand.
A nice
OI. Shepard there, but it gets over top.
Warwick. Will he call something? No. It went over the top. Great call from Warwick. Great no call from Warwick.
Turnover goes to the Japanese now.
So now the Australians really have to stop the Japanese inside out. They'll work it all the way up the field on that break side and just get those quick. And just because their throws are so quick, the players who receive them have a lot more space, and the players are a lot further behind them.
And tendencies for low releases on those as well. They really get down to the earth and get them out quickly, like you said. Fast trigger hand and low to the ground. It is tough to defend, but that is what they do want to defend. You're absolutely right. 20 with the disc for Japan.
Struggling. 2 meters back in their end
that's
zone.
That's 22. Enzu for Japan. No contest as Damiani shows a 0.
Look to the girls on the Japanese team, going to play a big role in this point.
As 24 hits the deck there, getting her hands on that one. Up line to number 9. Now a flick goes up, has a man.
Flick.
22 got open. That's Enzu again. Dumps to 7. Now the close sideline, 5 meters out. Looks for the backhand, gives that backhand dump. Number 4 now for Japan. Hammer with velocity.
Oh,
wow, what a grab.
Leading hammer layout. That is incredible.
Number 7, Koichi Wada for Japan. Gets himself a highlight and levels the score at 5-all. Hey, Sienna Brown. I forget your name. What's your name again? And we're back in, just catching up with some of the Mundies on the sideline. We got Mark Evans here for another point before he has to head on to his 7-8 matchup against Germany.
So it's a big outside-in pull-up win. Shout out to Sweet Az. What do you got to say, Sweet Az?
I don't know. It's a close game.
Close game. Wonderful insight from Sweet Az.
Yeah.
After being featured in the I'm a Dog video put out before the Worlds as one of the favorites amongst the Dingoes. Now Gav Moore with the disc.
Moore, great travel up the line by Gav. Gains a bit of ground.
Oh, great
that's an
grab by
excellent
Tegan
catch
Sneddon on this sideline. A little bit of contact after the catch.
Geez, those braids make her look like a badass.
Looking good. As long as she keeps that disc in hand.
Yeah, swing it to Gav. That's a great look. Get it off that line.
Centered to Gav Moore now.
Oh, that
Damiani,
was
safe as houses with that one. Puts a big quick flick up. Tegan Sneddon. It's macked. It's caught. Oh, my goodness. Australia gets one there after the mack.
Hey, wait. She might be out. She might be out.
There's a lot of animated discussion here. Twiggy steps in the middle.
Japan.
She puts it down. They're walking away, but there's still a discussion.
Japanese
the
are
crowds
calling it
are
out.
walking away, but still no decision made yet. Maybe some troubles translating there.
To be honest, from here, she did look like she was on the ground when she caught it. She laid out, slid, and then caught it. It was a bizarre layout choice. But the Japanese are retracting their call.
And the Mundies are celebrating. So we'll put the score up for Australia. No, we won't yet. We'll still discuss. Thanks to Mark Evans for his work in the commentary box. He's off to play the Germans, representing Australia. Great work again, Mark. Thanks very much.
Is this gonna go in TV?
We'll see what happens. Looks like the disc is being put back to the spot of the throw. So foul and contest is the official call. It's going to go back into the hands of John Damiani. A dangerous man to have the disc if you're wearing blue. I'd like Australia to get the goal, but not that way. Wow, Australia celebrates after looking at a camera. The Japanese sitting down. I guess a spectator had a clear view of the shot. We're going to try and have a look at that now and get back to you. But Australia, one of the most interesting goals I've seen in this tournament, where it was sent back and a spectator's camera got Australia the goal in the end. So it's 6-5 after about 5 minutes of discussion in the semifinal. Tom Tullett set to pull. A very tense moment for both teams. That's the passion involved in this game. Nobody willing to give anything, especially when they were so sure they had a goal. Now the Japanese come the other way. TLB flopping all over the place, trying to get in front of the Japanese handle. 27 with the disc. Moves it up line. TLB goes up and over. Gets the block, number 1. Says he's fouls. That's Kikuchi. TLB contests, and it's going back to the spot of the throw. Disc is in. 27 puts it up line to 28. 28, backhand to number 1, Kikuchi. He looks to backhand. It wasn't there. Now it is. Tullett runs him over. Wow, what a pickup. After the play, a foul was called, but play on. Great grab there by the Japanese, number 11. Kikuchi now with the disc. Backhand to 11 again. Falls over. Call on the play. That's Shimura making some spectacular play for the Japanese. Back in. Flicks it up line. Kikuchi with the disc. TLB drapes over him. Japan thought he was able to fall into the line, but not quite in. Still has possession. Far sideline on the goal line. Over top now. Floats back over. Number 1 with the disc. Shimura. Sorry, Kikuchi with the disc. And we're in. Kikuchi. Forehand. 25 now. Kikuchi wants it. Gets it. Not in called. On the goal line. Pop pass. 88 gets her hands on the disc. That's a goal for the Japanese. Kimura gets it. It's 6-all. We're into play. Just a bit more insight on that contested goal. Apparently the photograph that did show clearly that they were in wasn't looked at by the Japanese captain. They just decided that they must be wrong if it was there maybe, and conceded the goal, but would not have a look at this photo. A pull goes out of bounds, lands in and rolls out, so Hoy brings it to the corner. Gets it to Waz Shepard. Waz now to Hoy. Hoy looks for backhand, flicks up line. Waz Shepard again. Hammer over top. Lucy Stevenson with the disc. Fakes her backhand, dumps to Damiani. Now to Hoy. Hoy has a look. Nobody right on him. I'm not sure if his stall count's even started. Now surely. Hoy pivots into number 9 from Japan. Japanese back in his own defense. Wind gusty, but manageable. Now we're back in after another bit of contact. Hoy to Shepard. Shepard back to Hoy. Has a look at his options. Everything closing in on him, and Damiani right behind him sneaks in for an easy pass, and then Shepard again. Shepard commanding some disc space, and we've got a stoppage on the play. Shepard gets to Damiani, back to Shepard. Waz Shepard hammers over top. Lucy Stevenson's there, collects it, fakes backhand. Now dumps to Hoy. Hoy gives the flick in the middle to Waz Shepard. Japanese zone effective. Australians having trouble finding meters. Now to Damiani. Waz Shepard. Damiani wanted it when he went through. Shepard with time. Hoy behind. Gets the disc. Back to Shepard. Back to Hoy. Now they're getting some meters out of this. Hoy wants to go through the middle. Now Damiani drops back for him, and he goes to him. Damiani out to Stevenson. Spreading that zone out side to side. Waz Shepard now getting lots of touches. Puts a big one up. Kalen Spielman there. 22 on the defense. Spielman gets up huge for the goal. 7-6 for the Mundies.
That's all I got.
Cupcake dries his hands. on the beautiful turf here. This is natural grass. Looks like an artificial turf. It's that well maintained. And now winds up, delivers. Roller, this one looks like it, an OI. Rolls out of bounds about 10 meters up on this near sideline. 11 walks the disc to the line. Shimura. He's getting lots of touches in this game. Shimura to 77, now to 58 for Japan.
7-6.
Australia. We're in a zone transition here. No, they're staying in a bit of a zone. 88 now with the disc. 58 with the disc for Japan. Looking at his options, wants a flick, now looks to break and does, right to the sideline. Short pass, back to 58. Tries to deliver the break and calls foul. That's Fujisawa with the disc. Fujisawa moves it to 77, now 88. Upfield, 25 for Japan, puts a big one up. 11's there, but not able to get down for it. The throw in front of Shimura. Barramundis with a chance to break here. Cupcake puts it into play. Oh my goodness. Callahan conceded. Kawashima able to get there as it floats in his own end zone. And the potential break turns into an evened up game. It's 7-all in this very tight semifinal. And back in action here after a Callahan for the Japanese. Mundy's got their O-line out there. Semifinal matchup, a chance to play in tomorrow's Big 3 series of grand finals. Gold medal matches. Hoy with the disc. Backhand. Gets it to JD. JD now flicks it back to Hoy. And he moves up line there to Tegan Snedden. She's had a couple huge grabs over the course of this game. Disc is now in. Tegan Snedden gets it back to Hoy. The other semifinals now finished on the far field. We're waiting for results to come in. Canada was up early. In all likelihood, it'll be the Canadians who will face the winner of this game, but we may be surprised to hear that the Americans came back. Waz Shepard with the disc. Waz winds up a flick, but doesn't deliver it. Now puts a hammer over top. Kalen Spielman in the space. Now gets it back to Waz Shepard. The two of them can do some serious damage with their height mismatches. John Damiani with the disc. Back to Hoy. Hoy to Shepard. Shepard puts a flick up. Tegan Snedden there. No camera required for this one. She's got herself a goal. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. It's 8-7 for Australia. One away from halftime now. And we're back after the Australian timeout. Aussies up 8-7. D-line out there. Cupcake set to pull. Would love to get this one and take half before trading into a 8-all game, which would be a much tenser situation going into halftime. But number 3 gets it for Japan. Now Shimura, 28 with the disc. Flick goes upfield, big gainer there. 28 in the air. Gav Moore about 3 meters over top there. Not quite. Cupcake gets the disc. Gives it to Vicky Say. Up to Gav Moore. TLB now with the disc. Points downfield. Over top of Twiggy. Second effort. Third chance. Hits the ground. There's a foul called. And that was Gav Moore who went in for the second effort. Twiggy on the initial play that got over top of him. Bit of discussion. Twig goes out with an injury. Damiani comes in for him. I'm assuming that the Australians retain possession knowing that JD's coming in. And indeed they are. TLB picks up the disc. Wipes it dry. A few drops coming down now. Very mild but evident. Violation called. Bit of movement before the disc was tapped in. TLB again. Leaves it out. 58 taps it in. John Damiani now with the disc. Puts a flick right away. Quick release. Gav Moore's in the end zone. Wow, what a read. Puts the right hand over top after a bit of windmill action. Brings it down. Aussies take half. It's 9-7. What a game. And we're back from the half. I just had a jog around the facility here. Bit out of breath watching in the main stadium opens match between Canada and US as Cupcake puts a pull up here in a beauty of a game here with the Australians up by 2. Japanese put it into play. Number 28 now with the disc. Fakes the backhand, wants the flick. Now gets 77 on a bit of a dump. 11 with some contact into Cupcake. Play on called as number 1 jacks a big one. Gav Moore on the chase. That was a perfect throw. 29 comes down with it. Japan get on the board early in this second half. And that was 25 for Japan. Kawase, not 29. Thrown from Kikuchi. He's been having a bit of a blinder today. Pulls up. Damiani settles under. Hoy now. Hoy to JD. They've been working wonders, these two, on the Australian offense. Throws to Callahan in a bit of space as he comes back. Callahan. Hoy goes up line and he gets it to him. Back to Spielman. Spielman to JD. JD back to Spielman, center of the field. Slowly but surely moving it up are the Australians. Lucy Stevenson now. Dreadlocked and puts the disc up to Tegan Snedden. Little bit of a bump there as she pivots. JD with the disc on the close sideline. Just about half call on the field. Kikuchi says that Damiani stepped into him and calls a foul. JD with the disc. Bit of talk about where the stall count comes in at. The sideline giving their interpretation as to what's happening, saying that the elbows are coming up. Damiani saying he's just using his arms in front of him as he can. Now Damiani puts a big one. That one's going to sail away. It's not coming back in. Japanese celebrate. Kikuchi walks it in. JD taps it in. Gets a disc centered to number 15 for Japan. He moves it side to 10. Bid there by Damiani. He's not able to get there. Jumps over the shoulder of Kikuchi and causes a foul. Bit of a veteran move for some stoppage there. Disc is back in. Kikuchi again. Puts it up. Has number 8. She fakes. Puts a backhand dump. Swung this way. Towards our cameras. 15 with the disc. Now centers to number 10 for Japan. 10 over to number 9 on the far sideline. Kikuchi now. Hammer. He's been firing those out. That one's too far. Great bid, but Australia manages to get the disc back. Disc is in. Damiani. To Warwick Shepherd. Disc is up. Callahan Spielman's there. Number 9 tries to get in the picture. He does get a tap. Spielman puts his hand up. Says there's contact. Or a strip, rather. He says his hand was closed on it by the time the Japanese defense got there. Big roar out of the main stadium right now. Sounds like the Canadians would come back because USA are on game point, so if the game's still going, it's a good indication for Canadian fans. Spielman sends this one back to where it came. Back in action. Waz Shepard with the disc. The cut goes the same way, but Waz opts to continue looking to his handler. It gets over. Hoy bailed out by Tegan Sneddon. What a grab. Keeps the possession alive. Waz Shepard tries to jack it, loses the handle there. Slips out of his hand. Australians playing D again. Kikuchi picks it up. Damiani on the mark. Wants an up line. Not coming now. Gets it to the... Oh, it's floating. Waz gets the turn. Puts it straight away. Lucy Stevenson gets the goal. Aussies get a big break there. It's 10-8 Australia. Australia get away with a massive point there as the dump sails away, and Waz Shepard turned that turn into a score as he sent it to Lucy Stevenson. Now Adam Mortimer with the disc set to pull. Gets it up. Sailing to the far sideline now. Picked up by number 3. 11 with the disc for Japan. Moves it upfield to 25 and jacks it. Japan has numbers there. 58 gets up and down with it. Fukushima with the goal. Japan stays within 1. It's 10-9. And Japan runs to the line. Number 4 pulls it away to the Australians. That's Miura. Hoy settles under and collects. JD with the disc. Backhands across to Warwick Shepard. Now back to Shepard again. Hammers over top to Damiani. Damiani to Hoy. Hoy has a big step. Now gives it to 34 for Australia. Hoy with the disc. Hammers to JD. JD with the disc. Back to Hoy in his own end zone now. Hammer over top, handled well by Shepard. Waz Shepard, as he's known. Looking at his options, dumps back to JD. JD surveying options. A high release flick, a beautiful high release flick over the other side to Lucy Stevenson, then to Callahan Spielman. Callahan back to Stevenson. Damiani with the disc. Shepard now. Fakes the flick, gets that same one he faked to Lucy Stevenson. Then up line to JD. Now they've got a bit of pace behind them. JD over to Stevenson. They slow it right down. Just making completions here are the Mondays. Damiani look to go end zone. Now back to Hoy. Hoy looking upfield to see what he's got. Tries to get the backhand under, and there's contact there. Komori with the contact. Hoy puts a hammer over top. Shepard just gets around that one or from behind it and catches up. Makes the catch. Beauty throw to JD. JD quickly moves it on. Tegan Sneddon backs herself up, so but by the time the disc gets there, she's in the end zone. Mundy's up to 11-9, 76 minutes in. Australia get a beautiful goal there after a excellent swing pass, opened things up, gave space to JD. He just zipped a backhand into the end zone where Tegan backed herself up and got the goal. Now Cupcake set to pull for the Australian defense. Japan with their O-line out there. Shimura and Kikuchi doing a lot of the work for the Japanese offense. Lots of touches. Word just in from the main stadium. The U.S. won a huge game against Canada. They'll feature in the final against Great Britain, who had an interesting path to get themselves to the finals. But we'll stay with this game here as 88 gets down for Japan and keeps the disc alive. Now 77, fakes a backhand, flicks to 88. Moves it on to 28. The Japanese ladies doing a lot of work now. The ladies back handling. Maybe they've made that as an adjustment, not sure. 58 has the disc. Centers to 77 and 28 again for Japan. The ladies still getting the bulk of the touches, but they get one through. Kikuchi wanted the hammer, and he gives the hammer, but only to the sideline. 77. Looks to flick. Just puts a backhand in the middle of the cup. Back to 77. Gets it to Kikuchi. Kikuchi marked by Tom Tullett. Foul on the play. Disc is in. Contact on the play. Kikuchi calls a foul again. Disc is in. Kikuchi looking. Thought he had a man up the line. It closed down on him. Now he's got a man 2 meters out. 25 with the disc. Backhands it in. Went to Kikuchi. He laid out for it. Cupcake was there. The disc was bobbled and goes to the ground. Mundies get the disc in their own end zone. Up by 2. Up to Mindy with the disc. Gives a backhand to Cupcake. He throws a flick that gets intercepted on the goal line. And then 11 throws a backhand that gets blocked by contact, so he says that's Shimura. Disc is in. 58 gets the goal for the Japanese to keep it within 1. That's Yokota. 10, Japan. 11, Australia. Back into action. Barramundi's worked really hard to generate a turn there. An unfortunate turnover on the goal line and near Callahan, but able to punch it in after a call. Number 4 sends it sailing towards the Australian O. Hoy back to collect. JD there looking for the first pass. Goes up line and gets that first pass. JD wanted to go big early. Now he centers it to Spielman. Spielman back to Hoy. Tegan Snedden now with the disc. Back to JD. Has options underneath. That's Beck Carmen. Was Shepard on the sideline. A bit of contact there. Puts Japanese number 10 to the turf. Tanimoto. Disc tapped in. John Damiani goes up line, has the disc, has a man. Goes the other way. Spielman's there. OI backhand. Spielman's up and he gets down. Another huge catch in the end zone for Kalen Spielman. That's his 3rd in the air. Aussies take a 12-10 lead. 82 minutes into this game. Cupcake with the disc. Huge grab by Spielman there. Cupcake and JD having a bit of a gas on the far sideline. Pull goes up. Another beautiful looking pull. Inside out backhand. Fades to the very back of the end zone and out the back. So the Japanese will pick it up and go to the brick mark. Shimura walking the disc up for Japan. Aussies still up by 2. Tullett awaits at the brick mark. Being very meticulous with the spot of the foot. 28 now with the disc for Japan. Fakes a couple backhands as she pivots around. Gets one away to 27 as the defense loosened just enough there. 28 now with the disc, puts it into space. TLB dives into contact there, no call on it. Makes a great play. Gets the turn for the Mundies, and Cupcake picks it up to go the other way. Cupcake surveys his options, gets it to TLB in the center of his own end zone. At the front line, out in front. Vicky Say's got time, picks it up. She dumps back, but there's a call on the play. Oh, a foot drag travel called on TLB by 58 from Japan. That's Fukushima making the call. And just about set to play here. Fukushima, hand up, he's ready. Stall counts back in. TLB, puts it out in front of Lacey Moore, and she's unable to get there. Japan puts it back into play. That's Kikuchi, who went to 27. Now 11-25 for Japan. 7 meters out with her second chance on this possession. Has 88 for the goal. That's Kimura. Oh, but there's a call on this one. Pick called. Lots of double bicep flexing going on out there. Going back to the throw. Kikuchi with the disc. No, it's not. 25 with the disc. Now back to 27. Yagura moves it on now. Kikuchi puts a hammer over top. Has 58. It's not going to count. There's another call on the play. Kikuchi with the disc. Twig puts his hands up to stop that hammer. Kikuchi's been very dangerous with those, and Kikuchi gets it from 25. A little give and go action. He gets the goal. The assist comes from Kawase, and Japan back within one, 11-12. And Japanese pull. Gets in the air. Enzu puts it there. Sails out of bounds. The Aussies will bring it in at the brick. Damiani brings it to the mark, where number 8 awaits him. Inaba. Must be a zone, or there's a gender mismatch out there. Now was Shepard with the disc. Lucy Stevenson now has it. Very easy to spot her out there with the dreadlocks. Was Shepard puts a hammer over to John Damiani. JD. Stoppage and play. Another Australian game just started behind us, where they have a 7-8 playoff game against Germany. Rematch of an earlier game. JD now puts it to Warwick Shepherd. And he sends it to Spielman. Spielman looks for the flick. Now backhands, gets it to JD in the middle while there's a bid. There's a man down. Must be an injury call. Otherwise, he was well beat with JD going the other way after he missed on the bid. That's number 11, I think, on the ground. Shimura. Can't see his jersey until he gets up. Sorry, that's 22. Enzu made the bid and hobbles off after just missing on a bid. Gets it to Hoy. Hoy now to Waz. Shepard puts a big one up. Spielman's there. He's been huge all day. He's so big again. Has a touch, bobbles, and collects it on the way down. Great concentration. He did get way up for that one. And then focuses in, brings it down to keep Australia dictating. Up by 2, 13-11, 91 minutes in. Spielman getting a few out there now. It's at least his 4th goal in this game. Mortimer set to pull for the Mondays D-line out there. Coach Dan Rule backpedals, getting his last instructions in before the point begins. Mortimer, OI backhand, hits the ground and rolls out, but 4 or 5 meters out from the Japanese goal line. Disc slowly walked in by 11. That's Shimura who got it to Kikuchi. Puts a scuba over to 77. She gets the flick out to Kikuchi again. James Lay on the mark. 25 now, fakes a big flick, and again. Calls a foul. Gav Moore contests. 25 with the disc for Japan. That's Kawase. Took a great grab before on a hammer. Kikuchi now with the disc. Gets it sent forward. 58. Wanted to go up line right away, but instead opts for Kikuchi on a dump. 11 gets it out in front. Far side now, 88. Gets it back to 77. She trips up but keeps the disc. Now Kikuchi winds up a hammer. Gives a flick. She tried to go straight back to Kikuchi. Now it's sent in his direction. He's got it. Receiver the other way. Hammer way out into space. If it stays in, Gav Moore gets up. Double touch on it. Makes sure that hits the deck. Mundies look to go the other way. Mortimer puts it into play. Gets it out to Toffa. Back to Middleton in the middle of the field. Mortimer again. Moves it up line a bit there, but gets to Lacey Moore. Mortimer gets it again up the line. Now Mindy with it, far sideline about center field. Gav Moore takes one out of the air. Up over top for Lacey Moore. Return to Mortimer. Mortimer having a look. Gets it to Toffa, but a bid on the play. 58 makes a huge bid, gets a turn. That's Fukushima. Puts it up in the air. Fukushima gets a hand on it, but it gets away. Mortimer walks it up. Another chance at this break for the Aussies. And first pass gets away from Gav Moore. Mortimer put a bit too much on that one. And now everybody's got into their position so they can walk back to the disc. Japanese handler over the disc. Puts it into play. Puts it right into the D. Mundi's now going the other way. Shimura gave up the turn. Mortimer now. Oh, thought about putting it, but moves it to Toff. Toffa finds Mindy for a big gainer. Gets about 15 meters out of it. Had Gav Moore coming up field. Looks back to center and gives it to Mortimer. Lay gets there for him, picks one up at the knees. Japanese D, max it up. Lacey Moore keeps it. Toffa now with the disc. Far sideline, Mortimer. Mortimer, high stall count. Disc comes back in after Mortimer called the timeout. Gets it away quick. Don't think there was a foul. I think it just was the timeout. Toffa to the end zone. Not quite. Gav Moore's got it on the doorstep. Fakes backhand. Gets it into James Laver. 2-foot pass. Aussies with their biggest lead of the game now. 3 points up at 14-11. At about 99 minutes. Time cap should go very shortly now on the next point. So the time cap did go, in fact, in that last point. So it'll be a game to 16 with the Mundies at 14-11 lead over Japan right now. 2 points away from a illustrious spot in the feature game. Tomorrow, the mixed, the open, and the women's finals, the big three. Tonight, you've got the Masters and the Ladies Masters. Which will be evening twilight games, which will also draw huge crowds. 5 divisions. Australia would love to find their way into that one against the Canadians, who have already booked their ticket. But Japan still with a chance. Twiggy jumps in front and making that chance less and less. Moves it to 85. Tom Tullett to TLB. He flicks one up. Twiggy's got the disc. Twiggy puts a big one up. Gavmore is there. Goes over top. Oh! Amy Hempel had a chance on the scraps there, but not able to get to him. 11. Shimura walks it to the line. For Japan, they've got another chance on this possession. Up to 28. She puts a big one. Gavmore max it, maybe. Oh no, helps out the Japanese, causes the assist. 25, Kawase comes down with it. It's 12-14 in the game to 16. And Japanese get one back, down by 2 in this semifinal. Kikuchi puts up a big pull. It's floating. That's going to go out of bounds, and JD is going to walk it to the brick mark. Damiani walks the disc to the line. Has Hoy on a dump. Hoy now to JD with the bid coming through. JD walks away as he calls foul. That's Yamaguchi coming through. Disc is back in. Damiani forwards to Shepard. Shepard puts a big one up. Spielman's there. He's been hot today. Gets up and down. That's another one. Keeps his toe in. Mundy's one away from going to the finals. It's 15-12. Mortimer swinging the disc around. Mundy's, if they can break, can win this game. Up by 3. Playing defense. Game to 16. It's 15-12. D-line. Set to pull. Mortimer moves towards the line and sends one the other way. Number 3 for Japan looks to collect. Kawashima. 77 with the disc now. Gets it up to 25. Gets kicked in the hand by Gavmore's foot block attempt. Foul on the play. Hand up in the air is Gavmore conceding the foul, coming in at 0. Kawase puts it back into play. Goes up line to 77. She takes one high. One-handed grab. Central to 58. He wants a hammer. Doesn't give it. Comes back to 77 on a dump. Fakes hammer. Gives backhand. Close sideline. 3 now with the disc. Flicks back to center. Shimura calls foul. A little bit of discussion here. Japanese 7 meters out. Move it to 77. She gets down on her knees to pick that one up. Not quite in yet. Watanabe with the disc. Just about ready to tap in again, and it is. She dumps again. Bit too far, falls to the ground. Mundy possession means this game could be over if they score the other way. Mortimer picks the disc up. Now he's at the line. Cuts are starting. He gets it center to Middleton. Middleton to Gavmore. Baubles drops. At about chest level. Now 11 pops one over. A meter out. Hammer. Back of the end zone. Picked up at his feet. That's 58 with the goal. Japan. Fukushima gets the goal, and they're 2 away. Mundies will get their first received pull at a chance at game point next. Coaching staff leaving the field there. O-line out for the Mundies. This O-line, if they can be efficient with the disc, can win the game for Australia. Semi-final. Canadians await their opponent. Number 4 sends the pull sailing. Miura pulls out of bounds and will be going to the brick spot. Hoy with the disc at the brick spot. Big situation here. Spielman collects with his left hand. Puts a backhand over top. It gets away. Foul on the play. There's some contact on that left arm as Spielman tried to go over top. Japanese crowd doesn't like it, but returns it to Spielman as he puts it to Damiani. Damiani puts one. Japanese defense step in front. 81 now coming the other way, and Shepard falls into him. Foul called immediately. Handa with the disc for Japan. Handa finds number 12. She pivots, moves it back to Handa. One goes up there. Damiani gets up and over top. That little man sure got up, but there was a foul called, I think, at the point of the throw. And it's sent back there, nullifying what would have been a huge defensive takeaway. Handa has it called back into play as Shepard taps in. Flick up line, gets away again. Hoy now with the chance. Damiani gets a disc. Near the center of the field, back to Damiani, back to Hoy. The two of them doing some work. Over to Spielman, handles it no problem with two hands. Up line, that's Beck Carmen. She gets it to Damiani. Call on the play. Travel it must have been, or a bit of contact as he pivoted through. Discussion seems over, and Damiani calls a timeout about 8 meters out from the end zone. This goal would seal the deal. Damiani with the disc. Back from the timeout. Mundy's with a big chance here. Tapped into play. Hoy goes up line. He centers back to Spielman. Spielman to Damiani. Damiani backhand. That makes it in the end zone. Warwick Shepard keeps his feet. Shepard gets the goal from JD. Australians are going to the finals in the mixed division. They'll face the Canadians. 16-13 win. For now, they'll celebrate. They'll have a night to think about it. And tomorrow we'll see them in the big stadium for the big matchup, the mixed finals against the Canadians. It's been an excellent game between the Japanese and the Australians. The Japanese have been knocked out in 3 divisions now, 2 divisions by the Australians, and have not had things going their way. But commiserations to them, but congratulations to the Aussies making it into the final. It's Stefan Rapazzo signing off from ULTI.TV. We'll see you there.